Solo stock price prediction. Okay guys, so you guys been asking me to do an update video on Solo, and there really hasn't been any kind of breaking news where as towards like production or deliveries or anything like that. But I did actually rebuy into Solo. So as you can take a look here, we're looking at the year-to-date chart. So first off, for you guys that maybe had bought up here, I would say relax. The stock is still up over 200% this year, and it looks like some buyers have come back into the stock. So one of the things I like to look at is I like to look at volume. So as you can see here, when all of the EV stocks were kind of running up big after the whole Joe Biden won the presidential election, you can see that there was a lot of volume here, and at one point Solo even reached 171 million shares traded. So right now the volume is kind of low and people are looking at some other stocks. So as you see, a lot of these Bitcoin stocks are popping, a lot of big tech stocks like Roku and things like that. Shopify is popping. So it looks like a lot of the attention has gone away from Solo. But here's the good news about this company. And I was just watching the news earlier, and there is just so many inefficiencies with ICE, internal combustible engine vehicles, that electric vehicles are just such an amazing solution to a problem that not just plagues North American society. I'm talking about traffic. I'm talking about the carbon emissions with gasoline. I'm talking about climate change. But, you know, personally with the Solo car, you guys know it's a one-person vehicle. This is going to unlock a lot of gridlock because probably 80 to 90% of the people you see in four-seater cars next to you, the car is empty. So I think it's really important to have a long-term perspective here with Solo stock. We're already up big, so I recommended this stock, guys, when it was on just under $3, and that's when I made my first buy. So with a stock like this, I like to basically break it down into certain levels. So first off, the best time to buy would have been obviously at around $1. So then we have accumulation, then we have the run up, then we have more accumulation. So this was kind of the second phase, $2.50. So this is exactly where I bought in. So now we had another run up, and now we're looking at another accumulation phase. I think under $7, I think this company's just around 500 million or so market cap, 600 million, something like that. It's simply too cheap. So remember now, this company has over 65,000 pre-orders, and they don't just sell the Solo, even though that's the ticker symbol. They also have two other cars in the pipeline, the Roadster and the Torino, guys. So this is not just a one-seater car company, although that's the car that I'm most attracted to. They also have some other kind of faster, you know, obviously more sporty vehicles in the pipeline. And guys, 65,000 pre-orders for this company with over $2 billion in pre-order revenue, and the stock is trading at around a $500 million market cap. So it's simply just too cheap. So what am I doing personally? Well, I'm not doing anything. Basically, I'm just buying on dips and holding my shares. So if we take a look at some of this chart here in particular, we can see that basically Solo is going to move on heavy volume. So this isn't the type of stock that like has a lot of revenue coming in. It's not like Tesla or something like that, where Tesla's basically just been moving up because all the Tesla bulls continue to buy into the stock every month. Solo is definitely a stock that's going to move on big news. So I think the biggest news that we're definitely going to see is next year when Joe Biden is officially sworn in as president. I think that's going to be a big catalyst. And I think when Solo starts delivering its first vehicles and bringing in revenue. So where's my future price target prediction for Solo in general, guys? Okay, right now it's a $6 stock at a $500 million market cap. So if we take a look at those pre-orders, around 65,000 pre-orders, over $2 billion in revenue, let's just say that they complete a lot of these deliveries within the next 1, 2, 3 years, something like that. We know a conservative price sales ratio would put this company at probably a $20 billion company. And one of the reasons why I think it's so important to own Solo stock is that it's a disruptor. So, you know, we have a lot of companies like Arcimoto. They're coming out with 3-wheel cars. We have Tesla obviously coming out with 4-wheel cars. But this company is really the only company that I see producing one-seated vehicles. And a lot of people are thinking the company's going to fail and they don't know what they're doing. But I'm telling you guys, you know, companies like this that kind of buck the trend, they end up being worth a lot of money. And Solo is also a potential takeover target. So, you know, if they start selling these Solos like hotcakes, you're going to see other bigger car companies get interested in this Canadian company. It's a small cap company, you know, it only is $500 million, doesn't really have a lot of revenue. You know, this whole one-seated movement could be a big trendsetter. And think of it like this, guys. You know, I always look at the Solo, you know, it's a one-seated car. A lot of people say, well, I can't ride around a second person into it. But, you know, a lot of millennials and a lot of younger people, you know, whether they're living in the city or they're living in the suburbs, you're single, you're probably not married, maybe you don't have any kids or something like that, you don't really need a big vehicle. And with people's, a lot of people are out of work now, and student loan debt is at an all-time high. A lot of people are struggling to pay their mortgages and things like that. The average electric car is over $30,000. So I think the most attractive thing about Solo is simply its price point and the fact that this company is so much room to grow. So let's be conservative and say that Solo is a $2 billion market cap company. That's basically in line with its projected future revenue. That would make the stock a $20 stock. So Solo's at least worth $20. That's like the most conservative estimate I can give you guys. So what I'm personally doing, I'm just buying on dips, adding more shares. Guys, with a stock like this, it is so important to have a lot of shares. So one of the mistakes that I made when I bought NEO, I ended up buying NEO at around $2 or something like that. But I didn't pick up a lot of shares. And now in hindsight, when I look back earlier, I realized that when a lot of most companies started small. So if you take a look at Tesla, at one point, Tesla was trading, as a penny stock, a couple bucks. NEO was trading as a penny stock, a couple bucks. Jumia, a stock that I just talked about earlier, it was trading at a couple bucks. We have Workhorse. So many of these companies were trading in these single digit figures. So under $10, well, really under $5 is a penny stock, but basically stocks under $10. So anytime you can get a company that is trading under $10 that has a ton of revenue that is going to be coming in, and they can't keep up with demand for their vehicles, because that's the problem now. They have so much demand, they just can't produce the vehicles fast enough. So that's a good problem to have. And I think that we're going to see this stock move a ton in the future. So I would say patience is so important right now, guys. Me personally, like I said, always do your own research and do your own due diligence. But me, I'm not selling any shares. I really would like to get at least 1,000 shares of Solo. I know this actually is my best performer in my portfolio so far, because it's the one stock that I really bought when nobody was really paying attention to it. As you can see down here, the volume was so low when I was purchasing it. And that's another thing that I've really learned when it comes to stocks. If you can get some of these kind of cheaper stocks under $10, if you can just buy them when the volume is low, you're going to get a much better price. So for example, looking here, if you bought Solo when the volume was kind of spiking here, you paid $5. But if you bought it here when the volume was lower, you only paid $2. So then once again, if you bought it when it was spiking, you paid, $9, $10. But if you buy it again here while the volume is low, you get a much cheaper price. So it's kind of this thing, you kind of want to do the opposite of what everyone's doing. If everyone's like buying it like crazy, you probably want to stay away from it a bit. But if everyone's like ignoring it and going somewhere else, but you know that everything is intact with the company, this is a good time to buy it, guys. So that's my price prediction. I have a $20. That's a very conservative price target for Solo, probably over the next 12 months or so. And the sky's the limit, guys. And a lot of these EV stocks are going to go up in the future. So, you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of them that I've been covering in this channel. So be sure to look through some of my past videos. I've covered Workhorse, Tesla, NEO, Li Auto, Xiaoping, many of these stocks. And this is a good time to get them. So I would say next year you're going to see a huge movement, more so into electric vehicles once kind of the vaccines are distributed and things like that. So this is the first inning, guys. So like I said, me personally, do your own due diligence. I'm not a certified financial advisor, but I would say this is a good time to either, if you have a big position in Solo, you can just hold on to your shares. If you're building a position like me, this is a good dip buying opportunity. And looking at the recent volume, if we kind of take a look at like a little bit shorter time frame. Okay, so if we kind of take a look at that 1 month chart, we see a lot of buyer support at around $6. So if you could take a look here, we can see here lots of buyer support at $6. This is where a lot of the bulls like myself are coming in and buying up the stock. So I would say we shouldn't see lower than $6 unless there's a drastic change in the business or they release some negative news or something like that. But we still have the first half of the cup to fill, so $12. So even though the shares are down 50% from its high, it looks like that on the next kind of catalyst, whether it's good delivery news or good news within the EV industry or something like that, we could go back up to $12 and we could see a nice breakout, guys. So that's my breakdown on Solo. I'm looking at around $20 conservatively over the next 12 months, and kind of just, this is a nice time to, I think, to add to your position. And if you guys are bought it up here and you're dealing with some losses, you could average down. I think this is one of the few stocks that are under $10 now that can actually really run in the future. So I hope you enjoyed my video, guys. Please smash the like button and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to more videos, and be sure to grab my daily stock watch list. I post that Monday through Friday every morning before the market opens, and be sure to pop into my private Discord chat so we can talk about the stocks that I'm trading, other stocks that you've been following. So that's it until next time, guys. Take care.